In this video, we are going to go through how to get started with Inspire Planner. To open Inspire Planner and use all of its features, go to the app launcher at the top left corner. Then enter Inspire within the search box you see on top, and you will find Inspire Planner under All Apps. Now within Inspire Planner, projects can be viewed and created from within the Projects tab. By default, only projects you've recently viewed will be displayed on the page. You can change your list view by going to the pick list at the top left corner. Here you can choose to view all projects, all project templates, or projects by their status. To create a new project, simply click on New at the top right corner. Populate the project details beginning with the project name. To designate a project as a template, simply select Is Template. Templates are simply projects designated as a template. And when a project is designated as a template, it becomes an option within the Project Template field. New projects can be created by inheriting properties from a project template. This feature makes it quick and easy for you to create new projects. Projects can also be linked to an account or to any other object within Salesforce. Now, when a project is linked to an account, for example, then it means that you can view the project from the account record, and you're also able to create new projects from there. To the right are the project key performance indicators, or KPIs, which indicate the overall project health. KPIs are manually adjusted but can also be automated if preferred. Once you've populated all your project details, click on Save at the bottom of the window. The page will automatically refresh and take you to the project schedule. From here, you can create project tasks, specify task dependencies, and assign tasks. So the first thing we recommend that you do is to create your tasks, beginning with the first row. We recommend that the first row be the overall project. Hit Enter on your keyboard to move from row to row. Continue to add more tasks. You can also copy and paste tasks simply by using the Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V keys on your keyboard. New tasks can also be created by clicking on the plus icon within the project toolbar on the left. You may also right-click anywhere on the project task list to add tasks. A context menu appears where you're able to then add tasks and subtasks. You can choose to add a task before or after the selected row. You can also choose to delete the selected task. If you would like to, you can also change the task color from here. This will then highlight the selected row. Once you've created your tasks, you can then begin to organize them by grouping tasks together. To organize or group tasks together, simply highlight your tasks and then use the indent icon within the project toolbar on the left. When you indent tasks, it then creates a parent-child relationship. You can hold your Shift or your Control key and then indent tasks together. So in this example, I'm simply holding my Shift and Control keys and then indenting them all at the same time. To outdent a task, simply select the task and use the outdent icon you see within the project toolbar on the left. Once you've created your tasks, the next thing we recommend you do is to specify the duration of each task. So here on the right, you'll see a duration column where you can then increase or decrease a task duration. So to increase or decrease the duration, you just simply click on the up and down arrows beside it, or you can also manually enter a value. The default unit used for duration is set to days, but you can change it to hours, weeks, or months. So to change the unit to hours, simply enter H and hit Enter on your keyboard. If you were to increase the duration, it would keep the unit you're using. For weeks, you would simply enter W, and then for months, simply enter MO. If you'd like to go back to days, simply enter the letter D. We recommend that you specify the duration for all of your tasks first before you continue. To set a specific task as a milestone, just change the duration to 0 days, and that would indicate that this is a milestone. To save any changes you've made to your project plan, simply click on the Save Project Plan icon within the project toolbar on the left. Once you've specified the duration of your tasks, the next step is to specify predecessors, which are your task dependencies. So Inspire Planner actually supports the 4 common types of predecessors: finish start, start start, finish finish, and start finish. There are 2 ways to specify predecessor relationships. One way is to manually populate the value under the predecessor column for a task. But we find that the easier way to do this is to actually specify predecessors using the Gantt chart on the right. So to create a finish start type of predecessor relationship, simply hover over the first task and you'll find 2 circles at each end of the task, and then simply connect the first task, the end of the first task, to the beginning of the next task. So this signifies a finish start type of predecessor relationship. This means that task 2 cannot start until task 1 is finished. To create a start type of relationship, simply connect the beginning of task 2 to the beginning of task 3. This means that the two tasks begin at the same time. To create a finish type of predecessor relationship, drag the end of the first task to the end of the second task. This means that the 2 tasks must finish at the same time. And to create a start-finish type of relationship, simply drag the start of the second task to the end of the first task. So this means that the first task cannot finish until the next task is started. And again, the common type is the finish start. So to create a finish start type of predecessor relationship, simply drag the end of the first task to the beginning of the next task. Click on Save to save any changes you've made. Now the Gantt chart on the right also allows you to specify lag time. So if there is a lag between tasks, all you'd have to do is to double click on the orange square, and then from here you can define lag time in days. Simply use the up and down arrows to increase or decrease lag time. Then click on OK to save your changes. Now we recommend specifying the task duration and predecessors before adjusting your start and finish dates. This way, all you would need to do is to adjust the start date of the very first task, and the start and finish dates of the rest of the tasks automatically adjust according to the predecessor relationships you've defined for your tasks. Always remember to save your changes by clicking on the Save Project Plan icon within the project toolbar on the left. Now that you've defined your tasks, their duration, and predecessor relationships, let's continue to populate the rest of the information for each of your tasks. So looking at the project task list, you'll notice there's a number of columns on top. So you can define the status of each project task as well as the percent completed. You can also specify who the task is assigned to, and we'll come back to this later on. You have your predecessors. You can also define the priority of each task, as well as define planned effort. So planned effort is the estimated amount of time in hours that a task is expected to take. So for example, for task 1, if we expect this to take 20 hours, then we would enter 20 hours as the planned effort. Actual effort is a roll-up of all the time entries entered by the assigned resource, so you don't manually populate actual effort. You can also specify the budgeted cost and actual cost for each of these tasks, assign a category, as well as add notes. Now, Inspire Planner also allows you to customize your view by reordering columns or by choosing which columns to display and which ones to hide. To reorder a column, simply hover over the column you would like to move and then drag and drop it to your desired area. To display or hide columns, simply hover over a column and click on the drop-down arrow you see beside it. Then go to Columns and then select and deselect the columns you would like to display or hide. So the options here that are selected are columns that are currently displayed, and to hide the column, you would simply deselect the column from the menu. Now, whenever you make changes to your view, whether it's reordering columns, displaying, or hiding them, Inspire Planner remembers your view settings, so the next time you open the project, you'll get the same view. Another thing you can do is to filter rows. For example, if you only want to see tasks that haven't been started, you would then click on the column heading and click on the drop-down arrow beside it, go to Filters, and select the values you would like to see. Inspire Planner will automatically refresh the page to display only the tasks that match the filter you entered. When a filter is applied, you'll notice that the column heading appears italicized and underlined. To remove the filter, simply go back to the drop-down menu, go back to Filters, and deselect the filters you've applied. The page will automatically refresh and remove any of the filters you've specified. Now let's go over how to assign tasks to resources. Resources can either be fellow users or they can also be contacts. To assign a task, simply double-click on the cell beside the task under the Assign To column. Then, click on the edit icon to the right. Search for a user or a contact by entering their name and then click on Search. Inspire Planner will return any users or contacts that match the name you entered above. Select the user or contact from the list and click on the Assign Task button. You will then see the person move to the assigned table below the window. You can assign a task to multiple resources. Simply search again for another user or contact, select them from the list, and click on the Assign Task button again. Once you've selected all of your resources, click on Close at the bottom of the window. Now you'll see the names of the users or contacts that the task is assigned to. Now, once a task has been assigned to a resource, that resource becomes a part of your project resources. So if you need to assign another task to them, you don't need to search for the person again. All you have to do is to double-click on the field, click on the drop-down arrow, and you'll be able to select the resource from the list. This makes it quick and easy for you to assign tasks to the same resources. Now, by default, the resource is responsible for completing 100% of the assigned task. If the task is assigned to multiple resources, you can define the percentage of the task that the resource is responsible for. To do so, simply double-click on the resource name, then click on the drop-down arrow. You'll see to the right of each assigned resource is the percentage in units. You can then adjust the percentage of the work that each resource is responsible for. So in this example, I'm indicating that Anna is responsible for completing 70% of the task and Ty is responsible for completing 30%. Now this then divides the planned effort depending on the percentage of work that's defined for each person. Now to the left of each task, you'll also find the file and shatter indicator icons. The file indicator icon, which is the paperclip, lets you know if there is a file attached to the task, and it also allows you to attach files to the task. So to attach a file, simply double-click on the file indicator. You can then choose to attach a file from Salesforce or upload a file from your computer. So to upload the file from your computer, simply click on Upload a File, then click on Choose a File and select a file from your local computer. You can also include the message and then click on Share. Once the file has been attached, you can go ahead and close the window. You'll notice the file indicator icon beside the task is now highlighted to indicate that there is a file attached to this task. The chatter indicator allows you to see if there are any messages posted on the chatter feed about the task. To post the message, double-click on the chatter icon. You can then choose to post the message, upload a file, add a link, or also add a poll. You can tag other users in your chatter post messages as well. Click on Share to post your message. And once the message is posted, simply close the window. You'll notice that the chatter feed indicator is now highlighted to indicate that there's a chatter post associated with this task. Now that we are familiar with creating our project schedule, let's go over the project toolbar on the left and learn the different actions we can perform using them. So the first two icons are the undo and repeat action icons. Whenever you make a change to the project schedule, you have the ability to undo or repeat your changes. However, these actions are only available for unsaved changes. This means that once you save the project, you can no longer undo or repeat your actions. You'll actually notice that when you make a change to your project schedule, it highlights any updates in red. You'll notice there's a red indicator that appears at the top left corner of the value you've changed. And you'll also notice at the top of the page beside the project name, it will indicate whether there are any unsaved changes. So as long as you have unsaved changes on the project, you can use your undo and repeat action icons at the top left corner. To save your changes, just click on the Save Project Plan icon within the project toolbar on the left. So the next icon is the project detail icon, which allows you to view the project detail and make any necessary changes. The project is actually opened within a new tab. Beside the View Project Detail icon is the Chatter Discussion for Project icon, which allows you to then open the chatter feed and view any chatter posts regarding the project. Then you have the Save Project Plan icon, which allows you to save any changes you make to the project. The next icon is the Save As icon, which allows you to create a new project by cloning the existing one. So to save the project as a new project, simply give the new project a name. You can also choose to include project task assignments or any project attachments. You may also choose to specify a default task status for all tasks within the new project. When finished, simply click on Save As. Inspire Planner will automatically refresh and take you to the new project, which is a result of the Save As function you just used. So you'll notice it's taken us to the new project we've created using the Save As feature. So let's go through the rest of the icons within the project toolbar on the left. So the next icon is the Export to Excel icon, which allows you to then download the project schedule as a CSV file. Then beside it is the Print icon, which allows you to print the project plan. The folder icon allows you to view all project attachments, so if you want to see all files attached to all tasks within the project, this would be the easiest way to do so. The next icon is the List Salesforce Tasks icon, which allows you to then see all of the Salesforce tasks in a more concise view. Then you have the Outdent and Indent icons, which allows you to then indent your tasks to organize and group them. You have the ability then to collapse all tasks or expand all tasks. The plus icon allows you to insert a new task, while the X allows you to delete a task. The next icon allows you to close your project schedule. So if you wanted to see the Gantt chart better, then you can choose to hide the project task list. To show or display the project task list, again, click on the Display Task List icon within the project toolbar on the left. The next icon allows you to add project collaborators. This allows external contacts to view tasks assigned to them via the Inspire Planner external portal. To add the collaborator, click on the Add Collaborator button that you see on top. Then, search for the person by name. Select the user or contact from the list and click on Select at the bottom of the window. Then you can specify a permission level. You can choose to set them as a viewer or an editor. You can also specify what they can see, whether they can only see the tasks assigned to them or if they can see the full project. And then below, you'll notice that you have the option to then send them an email. When ready, just click on Share at the bottom of the window. This will automatically send an email to the user or contact you've selected, and when they open the email, they'll be able to see a link to the external portal where they'll be prompted to create a password the first time they log in. They can then keep on coming back to the external portal where they'll be able to then see and update their project tasks assigned to them. So the next icon within the project toolbar on the left side is the option to display the project critical path, which highlights the critical path within the Gantt chart on the right. To hide the critical path, click on the same icon. The next icon allows you to set the project baseline. You have the option to set the baseline for all tasks or only new tasks you've added. Click on OK when finished. Establishing a baseline essentially means that you are recording the planned project schedule. When a baseline is established, you are then able to see by how much your project and tasks vary from the original schedule should the schedule change. The next icon displays the baseline within the Gantt chart on the right. So when you click on the Show Baseline icon, you'll notice there's a gray bar that appears under each project task. And the baseline is the gray bar is the baseline. So should a project task schedule change, you can visually see the variance between the planned schedule and the new schedule. So by establishing a baseline and seeing the variance of your tasks against it, you're able to see which tasks take longer or whether they're often delayed. This allows you to then know whether the duration and planned effort for tasks need to be adjusted for future projects. The next icon is the resource allocation icon. This allows you to see the resources for the project and their capacity. Then the last icon within the project toolbar allows you to reset your project view. Now that we've familiarized ourselves with the project toolbar on the left, let's go over the Gantt chart toolbar at the top right corner. The Gantt chart toolbar allows you to perform tasks within the Gantt chart. The first icon allows you to switch to a Kanban view for project tasks. The Gantt chart takes up the screen, and the project tasks are displayed in a Kanban view underneath. So the project tasks are actually displayed according to their status. You can then drag a project task to change the project task status. To go back to the project list view, click on the project list view icon at the top right corner. Now the next two icons allow you to move to the previous or to the next timelines within your Gantt chart. Then beside it are your zoom out or zoom in on timeline icons, which allow you to move in to a much more granular time frame or a much broader time frame. The next icon allows you to see the full timeline for the project. The gear icon you see is to view the project settings. Here you can specify the start and end of the working day. And this then calculates the hours between the start and the end of the workday to determine the number of hours within a workday. So what this means is that when you're specifying duration for tasks in hours, Inspire Planner automatically adjusts the finish date of a task when the number of hours specified in the duration exceeds the workday hours. So within the project settings, you also have the option to specify whether weekends are considered working days. And from here, you can also choose to send task notifications. So what this means when enabled is that when a task is assigned to a user or contact, it automatically notifies them of the assignment via email. If any changes are made, make sure you click on Apply at the bottom of the window. Now the last icon at the top right corner allows you to hide or display the Gantt chart. So maybe you'd like to see all of your project tasks in full screen mode. What you could do is you could hide the Gantt chart using the hide icon at the top right, and to display it, simply click on the same icon. Remember that if any changes were made, make sure you click on the Save Project Plan icon within the project toolbar on the left before you navigate away from the project. So this concludes the video on getting started with Inspire Planner. We encourage you to get started with your first project and make sure you check out the Inspire Planner help page to view more videos and articles. Happy project planning from the Inspire Planner team!